Welcome back to Onslow County Today, and joining us now is Megan Beecham from the Onslow County Peers Program. Megan, we're so glad to have you with us today.
Thank you for having us.
So, as we were talking off camera, I am totally biased in my love of what Peers does and the work with young parents. And we're going to talk today about your Adolescent Parenting Program. So first, I always, for folks who might be watching us the first time, love to have some groundwork. So if you could just sort of give us the basics. What is the APP?
Right, so the APP program is basically a home visiting program where we go into the home and we work with them using a curriculum called Parents as Teachers that focuses on the development of their children through parent interaction, learning through play, very intentional parenting, so teaching them all those skills and developmental techniques that they need, but in a fun way, a way that makes it relevant to them.
And so when we talk about this idea of making these in-home visits with these parents, how does that make a difference in the life of both the parent and the life of the child?
So we do, it's more of a personalized approach to being in their home, being in an environment that's comfortable for them and the child's environment. We focus a lot on activities using the household items that they have. So it's very useful to be in the child's room with them, in their home. Go get this out of the kitchen, get a book out of the kid's room, and we're gonna do this activity together. So it just makes them feel so much more comfortable, I think, being in their environment, their home, and seeing how we can utilize the things they already have to help their child develop, teach their child skills, and improve their parenting skills at the same time.
Well, let's talk about that, because when that child emerges into the world, you can have read every book available. You can have, go to classes. These are all important things. And when that little person is here, they're all yours.
Right.
And that instruction manual, while incredibly helpful, doesn't answer every question.
Right, exactly.
And so talk about this idea of this practical, being a parent, regardless of age, regardless of the number of children that you've had in your lifetime, is scary.
Right.
And how do you all alleviate, assuage that sort of fear, especially because you're dealing with first-time parents? Right.
So we really try to, of course, meet them where they are. Get on a level that they're on, and first let them know that we understand. It is very scary for, like you said, the most experienced parent, but especially that first one, and our kids are so young, our parents are kids themselves. So we really try to, make sure we give them the message that we're here for you, that we're gonna empower you on developing your parenting technique, on your parenting skills. You're the expert on this child, and you are going to be the one who figures out what's best for this child with our support.
And let's talk about that too, because this idea of support, oftentimes with your parents, they might not have that home support,
right,
or that network of family or friends. How do you all fill that gap and become their village?
Right, so we not only through the parenting program offer those classes, we help them with linking them to resources for furthering their education, for finding employment. We will take them to doctor's appointments. We will take them to job interviews. We help them with all those kinds of things that you need as a kid who's also parenting, filling in those spots where their own parents might not be able to help. So we offer a lot of supportive services.
And when we also think about being an adolescent, parenting another person, you're not quite there yourself yet. You've got some growth. We always all have growth that can be done, but really when you're 15, 16, 17, you still have so much of your own growth. You still have a lot of need yourself. Talk about how you help those young parents sort of in their own personal growth.
Right, so we want to set them up for making decisions. That's always what I try to talk to them about, is the steps that we're going to take are going to give you options. So we are linking them to resources and being supportive in that aspect, but also trying to instill that independence so that they're learning how to make these decisions for themselves, kind of find their own path and you know, set up their own future while setting up their child's future for the most success they can have. So we really try to instill that as well, this independence they're gaining as individuals and parents. So really trying to support that.
Now, how can we as a community support you?
Yeah, that's a great question. We get a lot of support from our community through donations, also through referrals. That's really supportive of us and those kids we're trying to serve. They might not know about our program, and we really try to get our message out there, get our program out there, and we get a lot of kids who come in and say, hey, my mom's friend told me about this program, or someone at church told me about this program. So that's also really helpful for our program and our kids, just getting our message out there.
And how can we refer them to you? Where do we find you? How can we find out more information?
Sure. So we have a website, PRFamilyDevelopmentCenter.com. They can call us. Our number is listed on the website. If you just have them call us, or if you give me their number, I will reach out to them. So it's a very informal process, I would say, as far as making a referral. And then we set up that first home visit and go in and get them signed up and just go from there.
Now, you know, you mentioned the referral process. In terms of sort of the phases, can it be an expectant parent as well as a person who's already delivered, or what's the timeline?
So we work with parenting and pregnant teens. We can work with them up until the day before their 20th birthday. Okay. So there's no minimum age requirement, but that's the oldest they can be. This can only be their first pregnancy or child. Okay. One of our goals is delaying subsequent pregnancies, so of course that is a requirement of the program. And they do have to be in school or employed.
Okay.
So those are the few requirements we have. If they're under 18, their parents do have to consent to them being in the program, but then we of course are working with that parenting teen or pregnant teen. So
okay. And really it's about that path as a successful parent, and as you know, as they then transition into adulthood, you're giving them beyond parenting skills.
Right.
You're giving them life skills.
We're trying. That's our goal.
Well, Megan, you know, again, certainly this is our holiday show, and when you think about those young parents and those new families, what's your wish for them?
My wish for them is to gain the confidence that they need. That's something I really, really strive to give our teens that we're working with. It is, like we said, a very scary place to be. Everyone's unsure as a first-time parent, but especially when you're young. So I really try to instill that in them, that, you know, that belief in yourself, that's where it has to start, you know, believing in yourself, gaining that confidence. So hopefully giving them those skills to start developing that confidence is really what I like to see in them.
Well, thank you for that that wish for them, and we want one more thing. We just want the main telephone number there at Pierce, so that when people want to reach out and know more about what you're doing, how can they do that?
So it's 910-333-9727.
Megan, thank you for what you're doing for our families, for these young parents, and for their little people.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.